Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I hope everybody is really doing well. And well. Welcome to the Blood Moon, guys. And tonight, we start our Blood Moon, the most anticipated event, basically, I would say, and the most heard, sort of a event. Basically, everybody is waiting for that, right? So, I mentioned yesterday. Just to recap everything. I mentioned yesterday that we are forming a 4-hour bullish divergence on a USD dominance basically from here, from these levels, and the RSI was at support as well. And I mentioned that I'm expecting a push from here to our buy zone 702 to 706 Fibonacci levels basically. And yes, we got a nice little move on an upside. And I was expecting and anticipating basically the move to go down a little bit more down towards 79k and 78,341 maybe. But looking to the structure as we are into, this is clearly some sort of a B wave at this moment, is what I believe. And the main reason for that is a daily bearish engulfing candle that we have now. To my surprise, that I wasn't expecting, honestly speaking. Gold, I was expecting a move on the downside. The only reason I was expecting, and the downside move, if you remember, I was expecting it for 382 Fibonacci levels, 2,800. After which I was expecting, we should be looking to long towards the $3,000 zone. And it just simply went away. It stopped me out. In fact, it went down to 2878. I did not took profits, and this shit went away. So basically, it literally invalidated the weekly bearish engulfing candle. For the very first time I'm seeing it. And you look at this engulfing candle, it just literally invalidated the whole engulfing candle. Now, this has happened quite a lot often with gold, actually. This happened here as well. But then, it did not happen that quickly. If you look at here, even after engulfing candle, we just went one more down and then we pushed up. Again, engulfing candle, a few weeks down, and then we pushed up. So basically, it did not invalidate the exact candle except for this one. It had an engulfing candle. It literally got invalidated and a reversal move on an upside. Basically, it was a strong bullish move. So I do think at this moment, the gold is in its final wave 5. And honestly speaking, to me, I would be looking to sell my spot gold that I bought from 1400 2 years back. And whatever you bought, basically, it's time in my view to sell, because it's literally reaching the highest, or I would say the biggest Fibonacci levels for gold, which is your full-fledged extension of 2414 Fibonacci levels, guys. This 2414 Fibonacci level is derived from this highs of 2020 July and this lows of basically December 2022. So this is what basically tells me that gold, whatever you bought from 1700, 1600, or whatever, $1,800, it's time for you to take profits, because we are literally reaching one of the biggest levels for gold, guys. And trust me, anything can happen from here. The reversal is going to be very nasty. And if it breaks, then yeah, definitely it can pull another move upside towards $3,500 as well, for sure. If it flips up, okay? If it flips, the question is if. But now we have reached the ultimative 2414 fib is something I would definitely be a little bit worried about that. And you should be slightly careful with the gold at the moment. With the dollar index is looking weak at the moment, but definitely you'll see. I've just reduced all the wave count over here. Your wave 3 is definitely going to be here. And there is going to be wave 4. So pumping on the blood moon for gold is something tells me that if gold is pumping, I think BTC should also do the same probably. I'll come to BTC as well as USD DOM. But let me just finish the gold, because I'm heavily invested in gold actually. And I need to take some profits, basically. I need to decide what I need to do, because this is where I will just pull off my investments. And basically, that's what I really want to do. So This is clearly some sort of a wave 3 that's finishing. It's over here. It's 2414 Fibonacci levels, and the next pullback is more or less, I mean, you have the 2414 fib. I'm just going to delete it for an instance, and we're just going to draw the fibs from here, from this highs to this range, and we're just going to see what Fibonacci level it's coming, because even if it's coming 2414, we are very close to those, then it's good, or even 1414. And you have, 1618. Your 1272 is going to be your ultimate support, where gold is not going to go under that level and any near future for like next 2 to 3 years. And the ultimate target is 2414. So gold in the next few years, maybe next 4 to 5 years, or maybe sooner, it will go to these levels. After which it will go for a bigger bear market. So 2414 is your ultimate target. And you can also put like 2618, but I don't remember 2618 plays out that nicely. And 1886 is going to be your trigger for that thing. So all the levels are placed here. So you see 1618, we have went beyond 1618, and now we are on the 2414. So practically your next buy zone for the gold is around 2260 to 2270. This is going to be your next support and buy zone. Of course, we can deviate a little bit. We can go down to $2,100 plus minus $100, because we are talking about the bigger picture for gold. So basically, this is going to be your buy zone for the next, dips, which is going to happen eventually. This is where the next wave 4 dip is going to be. So for the gold, that's going to be your wave 4 dip. And then eventually your wave 5 will go towards very much close to $4,500 for the gold, basically, practically speaking, because this 1272 is going to be your support. The gold is not going to lose that levels for next 2 to 3 years, at least in my view. At least it won't lose, because losing it will just probably put it in a very dire situation where gold can literally dump it back down to $1,600. So it invalidates the whole bull scenario. And looking to this whole bullishness on the gold, it is not yet done in my view. So definitely, even if we are selling it, remember the sell is simply, we should be buying back around 2260 or so, because the move that we can anticipate is like 25-30% move on the downside, 25% move, which is expected in the bull run. In the previous bull run as well, you expected a move of 20% on the downside. So every damn time, we definitely gonna see that move at some point of time. But so don't be afraid when we literally get those moves towards 2260. You should be literally filling the bags of your gold. Put your investments from real estate to gold. Basically, because I have sold all my real estate in UAE, and I've encashed a good amount of profits as well. So, and I will encash my gold profits as well for now. Basically, I will wait for these levels to hit. Probably in 2025, 2026, we will see those levels. I'm just going to sit tightly and patiently waiting for that levels to happen. Maybe gold can go $3,000. It's a psychological number. Basically, we can do 3,000 tonight, tomorrow, because we are very close to those levels. A rejection would be nice. I might look for some short opportunity on an LTF, price, LTF price rejection or something. This was a perfect long opportunity which I missed because I was not available. But if somebody took it, it was amazing. On 14, just a very nice move from 44 to 79 as well from yesterday in the morning as well. Yesterday from 29. I did not saw this coming actually. Else, we would have booked profits at 2866. We dumped very nicely. I was in good profits at 2880 because we caught literally 2925, 2929 for shots, and it was a very good profit, like $45-50 move for the downside. Now that move has turned out to be a very ultra bullish move basically for the gold. So the plan is, ladies and gentlemen, for the gold, if you look at on the monthly time frame, well, monthly time frame RSI bearish divergence, we are still having it. Most likely RSI double bottom is also having it. So there is going to be a very indeed move on the downside. We saw previously something like that RSI double top. At the moment, you see the RSI. It's clearly forming some sort of a bearish divergence. The month is still about not end, but there is a bearish divergence already on the RSI over here. And there is a bearish divergence on the RSI, which might form here. We still need to wait for the March, how it plays out. But it's a very, 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 very overbought territory, basically. And in my view, what I feel is the bear divergence is very likely going to form, and gold can probably go and touch around 3,000 or something, and it's going to reject heavily, come back down to $2,600. A bounce is going to happen 2,787, and then further dump is going to follow, which is going to take it down to 2,220 or so, and which is going to be very bullish, because which I feel is there can be a deviation as well between 2,260 to $2,100, and then the breakout again will happen for the gold from April onwards, and we will see gold flying back towards 2,500 or so. Now, remember, wave 5 normally target Fibonacci is 2414, but we might even reject before the wave 5. It can be a shallow wave 5 as well. So we never know actually at this point. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 waves are done. Fifth wave is slightly bigger in degree, which normally don't happen. So let's say this is wave 1, and this is wave 2, let's say. And this is wave 1, this is wave 2, this is wave 3. Then we might do an alternative wave count basically. So let me just put this way as well. We might go for an alternative wave count. The targets will remain same. It's just that we will go in a different direction, in a different wave basically. So we got a triangle. Let's say the wave 2 was a triangle, some sort of a over here we had some sort of a triangle basically. So you had a wave 1, you had a wave 2, and then again you had you see we are having a bigger wave 1. We had a wave 2 over here, and now we are in the wave 3. So wave 3 is likely going to follow 2414, which we already did. So 3035 is going to be our wave 3. Your wave 4 is going to be roughly around 2577. Wave 5 can push it up to $3,300, maybe 3,400 as well. This is the bullish count, alternative bullish count. And after that, if we dump, yes, 2,260 is going to be our support. We might not even go under it, and the later point we will push it up to $4,000. So this is the next bull count. It's a little bit extended bullish wave count, very extended. So both the counts are bullish, and both the counts tells me that 2,260 is what we should be buying next. Okay, both the counts tells me that there is a possibility. The first count tells me that we will reject from $3,035 to $3,050, basically anywhere between here. The first wave count, the new wave count that I mentioned, tells me that even though we will reject, it's going to be a small rejection, after which we'll further pump it up to 3,500, basically the range highs, which is where the rejection is going to happen. So basically we tagged 1886 to Fibonacci. Remember, 1886 is your very important level zone. So 1886, if you know the Fibonacci levels, there are two important fibs for bulls and bears. First is 1272. So 1272 Fibonacci levels is very crucial. Once bears flip it, which means it's bullish, we are going to tag 1618 easily, and maybe we can go beyond. So the trade from 2,260 to 2,800 was a very easy trade. If you remember, we took it as well. So that was 2,787, which I was expecting a reject basically, and which rejected. And I was expecting from it to dump from 2,787 to like $2,400, but it just bounced from 2,541 because of the weekly EMA 100 at that point of time. I'll show they from the EMA perspective as well. So these are the two wave counts for the gold, and both are very bullish overall, because I'm expecting 4,500 at the end, maybe very much close to 4,500, because it's going to be good for the gold actually. So practically speaking, I would be offloading my gold bag. At least 70% of the gold bag I will be selling off. I'll just go in the market. I'll just put on orders and I'll sell it around 3,030, 3,040. We will see at that point of time what gold does. It can just probably pump to $3,300. However, the risk reward doesn't make sense for me to hold my bags, because you see, if I have to hold my bag, it means that I have to put a stop loss of 18%. And I'm aiming for a push up for 15% move, which means that it's just 0.9 hour. It don't make sense. I don't want to take that risk, honestly. So just, gold can pump another 15% from 3,500 to $3,200, $3,300, 15% max it can pump. But the downside risk is huge. The downside risk is like another 17, 18% move on the downside, which means that I'm not willing to sacrifice my profits at this point. So I'm really happy with the profits we have on the spot. So this is where I'll be selling gold. Probably maybe tomorrow, day after tomorrow, I'll just sell. As soon as we go around 3,000, I'll just sell simply. That's what I do. So this is what I have for the gold, ladies and gentlemen. Now talking about the USA dominance, daily time frame. Yes, the bear divergence is still valid. The RSI is trying to flip back above RSI based MA, and hence, the thing is, what I feel, there's a possibility we might just go something like this. Some sort of an inside out pattern. You swap the lows, and this is a very evident A, B, C on the move one and upside. So meaning retest here and there, and then further down would be nice, which goes with our bullish plan for BTC for the daily engulfing candle and the daily bearish divergence. The bullish plan would be, as I mentioned, we go here, we retest, we reject, we come back down, and we go back down to 4.7, 4.6% levels. Basically, this order block that we have around for the USA dominance. This is what the order block that will be filling, and the liquidity that we have around here. So that's the reason, I feel for the BTC, the plan is still same. The plan for the BTC would be to go back down under 79,662. Can even probably dump it back down to 70,341. And from there, we go up, run up to some sort of a move towards $86,000. That's going to be some sort of a week of accumulation, which might happen. So anywhere above this, practically is going to be A, B, and C. First of all, as I mentioned, two probable scenarios, A, B, C, or it's going to be 5 waves. So the ABC is going to be the green one, yellow one. ABC would be yellow one, and the green one would be 5 waves. So we are already rejecting, as I mentioned yesterday on the stream, that we will reject around 85K. We went to $84,500 on Coinbase, and we are now rejecting for like the double bottom sort of thing. And as we are now going to enter the order block that we have there, we have a bullish order block, like an engulfing order block. So from there, where it's going to be like 5 waves move on an upside, it's going to be impulsive move. It's not going to go slow. It's going to go very, very quick from there towards a sweeping up the highs of let's say 85,000. Now if the move is ABC, we will reject clearly around this order block of $86,000. We won't go beyond 86, if the move is clearly bearish. So we won't go beyond this. But in my view, the move is more likely going to be bullish move, which means it's not going to be ABC, it's going to be 5 wave move, meaning that this move on an upside that we saw was some sort of a wave 1. And right now we are doing A, B, and C for the wave 2. And that's going to be wave 3 here, sweep up wave 4, and wave 5 will go something like this. Meaning that it's gonna surprise many, but I believe that, we can take this highs clearly around 95, but it can even go for equal highs, which is going, can reject to 2025 opens around 93.3. So that's the reason I'm aiming for long, because the risk reward is amazing. And yeah, I would like to take this long, and that's why, I'm slightly front running the golden pocket zone. Basically, I am looking for, normally in this sort of scenario, I would have looked for entry at 78,350. Okay. If normally this is where I would bid 70,350, 70,400, but since past few days we are front running a lot, every by $1K, $500, $200, my every bids are getting front run, and that's why I'm front running personally, like golden pocket zone I'm front running and so on, basically. So this is what the plan for the BTC in my view. That's what I'm gonna play, and the reason I'm playing is because the move is clearly, in my view, some sort of a ABC, meaning this move was A, B, C, A, B, and some sort of a wave C here. So this is the wave B, and this is now we are doing 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. It's known as an irregular expanded flat. It's not a running flat, it's an expanded flat. So that's what I think the blood moon is likely. So most of the people will be expecting the move to dump it from here towards, probably 73,000, 74.2k. I mean, and then probably reverse, because if it dump to 73, 72k, then it will be a very, very extended move, honestly speaking, and it might even form a diagonal actually, which is good, which is very evident. And in case if it does, but the chances are still very low because of the engulfing candle that we have. So basically there is a possibility, I mean, if we dump and if we go down, it can go to 73.8 to 73.6, and from there we can see a nasty move on an upside to 86, 88k. I mean, that is also a possibility. So that's the reason, the stop losses are must and the risks should be managed. No trade should be taken without a proper stop loss. I still have my main spot limits between 75.5 to 73.6. This is where the main spot limits are, because we have 2024 equilibrium, 24 value or high. So I do believe that whatever the bounce, even in case if we go there, the bounce is going to happen above the 73k levels zone, and it won't go straight over to 69k. This is what I expect, at least BTC to give that bounce. Ethereum, guys, on the other hand, I gave a limit yesterday on ETH, and seems to me like the price is simply going in a range. As you can see, we are simply ranging on a 15 minutes time frame. You can check it out. We are also ranging here. So practically speaking, this is some sort of a ABC, basically another ABC, and we are forming a double top. So as you can see, I mean, another LTF range we are having it. In case if we are holding this lows of 1844 on ETH, so this is your order block, you see, I mean, this is your bullish order block, and this is where the bounce is happening again and again and again. So if we are holding these levels again, so I would like to see some sort of a change in structure. So in case if we go for a change in structure, a bounce like this, and make like some sort of a new high lows and maybe some sort of higher highs around here, and flipping these levels of 1914, I'll be looking to long here, and I'll be looking to target for 2035. That's where my bearish order block is, and the bearish levels are for Ethereum. However, in case if you really want to play some scalps in the quick one, then you can short once we lose here, and you can short it with your take profit targets would be 1789 is your ultimate long zone for Bitcoin, sorry, for Ethereum, because you have a nice wick to fill over at this line. This is at this moment, this is your discount zone, and this is your premium zone. So this is your LTF premium zone, this is your LTF discount zone. So just play the discount and premium zone till something gets flipped. So you get flip here, the price will move upside. You get flip on the downside, the price will further plunge down to 1687, maybe 1680 as well. So that is where the bounce. Weekly level, we have weekly support of 1687. We also have daily support of 1790. So we have some good interesting support around these levels on the 1 hour. If you look at from the daily perspective on Ethereum, we still have the bullish divergence on ETH. If you can see clearly here, just look at it. We still have a bull divergence on ETH, and it's very, very, very clear. Basically, it's a good divergence over here on the ETH, which is quite evident. So don't want it to just flip flop here. And similarly, the weekly is still bearish. Trust me, it's very, very bearish, because we have lost this support on RSI basically. So whatever, let's say the bounce we get on the weekly as a bearish retest, I think we should be shorting it more, as the price will further plunge down into the most ultimate oversold territory. And that is going to be your big buy for like few months, because after this move, I think Ethereum is going to explode. And this is where the RSI, this is how the RSI will do, in the coming months. So at the moment, we are bearish on the weekly time frame, no bullishness at all. On the daily time frame, we are still expecting a bounce, so that we can play some scalps and we can short it basically more. So Many people tells me that this is a deviation and so on. I would say no. I mean, I would have told you the same thing, the deviation and blah blah shit. But look at the structure. I mean, it has completely lost the structure. So now it doesn't make sense for me to even, give some false hopes to you. So it's just play the levels we have. I mean, whatever we see, just play it. That's it. That's what I would say. So this is the levels, that ETH has lost basically. The biggest support is around $2,035, $36. Very, very, very dangerous, levels. I mean, we have literally lost that levels. You see, I mean, you closed, I mean, this week in next 3 days, 8 hours, if you're closing under this, it's a clean short. Meaning you get a bearish retest like this of 2,200, 2,030, you short it down to 1,687, and maybe you can short it down to take the liquidity under it to $1,500 as well. So this is how, bad ETH can be at this moment. It's not looking that good, means that alt can literally go nuts basically. You can expect altcoins to so damn underperform versus ETH. So if you really want to be bullish, if really bulls are in control, and if let's say bulls wants to push the price for ETH, yes, you can expect a price on push on the ETH at least towards 2,000 these levels, because it's a failed, or I would say it's a breakdown. It's a neckline breakdown, like a double top breakdown. So if you look at from the logarithmic perspective on ETH, so this is the logarithmic chart. Where is the gold right now? 2,980. Perfect. I'll just sell it probably. I'll have to call my broker. No problem. So this is exactly you can see like a double top over here, and the price now breaking under the double top. The similar thing what BTC did, a very similar thing. This was the double top, and this was the neckline of the double top. And after the failing down, going down to this neckline, we got a bearish retest and then further plunge down. So practically, you can expect a nasty move on ETH at some point towards 2,240, 2,270, and I think that is going to be a further sell-off towards $1,500. First of all, the target will be 1,687. If you hold good, not then 1,500 to 1,512 is going to be our ultimate target. After that, and then only you can see some bounce. Till then, honestly, just play the levels. That's what I would say. You really want to be bullish, you can't just be blindly bullish and keep on buying. I see, the guy, Wiz guy, he keeps on shilling Tau. I mean, I don't know what he has with Tau. Keep on buying. Tau needs to be steady. And what the fuck he's doing, I mean, the Tau. I mean, if you remember, I mentioned as well regarding Tau how it just broke the structure. It is so evident. 3-wave move, clearly. How can you tell or ask someone to buy Tau basically after that shit move? I mean, that was a clearly evident ABC. If you look at here, the clean ABC I mentioned, and I did mention, it was a very clean, evident, basically, as you can see, there's a very nice neckline. You broke the neckline. It was a bearish move on a Tau basically. And now we are here at 243. Of course, there's going to be some bounce because we are at the 0.886 Fibonacci levels on Tau, guys. Of course, there's going to be bounce. So you are literally telling people that you keep on buying Tau from 447 to 243. And then when it bounces, happens to $500, you are good because you just, I don't know, I mean, what is it, but you just need to understand over here that Tau is definitely not good at this moment. Yes, till we are above 234, it can be good. 234 can be a good levels because there is a very interesting range formation happen. Both the liquidities are grabbed basically. So till we are above these levels of 234, 233, we are good, but losing it can just go to $160, $150. It will go in price discovery basically. So you need to understand, you need to ask yourself, just go to the logarithmic chart and see for yourself what Tau is doing. See. So if you really want to buy some spots, yeah, 234 can be those levels, or 191 to be honest, from the logarithmic fib scale perspective. It can even dump it back down to 190. That is the biggest buy levels for Tau, honestly. And the only reason that can be a big buy levels for Tau basically, why? Because you did 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and that's what Tau did basically, the 5 waves on an upside. And that's the reason there is still a hope for Tao. Probably if it is above 190, you can still expect Tao to do something A, B, and C, like here 3, 4, 5 to maybe somewhere around $2,000. You know, it will go eventually in maybe June, July, so sort of somewhere like that. Maybe in October, November, December, by end of this year. You know. So at this moment, if you really want to play some scalps on Tao, remember 234 is your support and an order block. Look at the daily. The daily RSI is literally at the resistance, losing till we are not flipping. You know, this holy resistance we have from these levels. This is the resistance. So till we don't flip on the daily, I mean, today is going to be crucial for Tao. I mean, if you can flip, then you can long. At least 234 will be a good levels to buy Tao. 234, 235. Because we are also having a bullish engulfing candle in Tao. So I'm not sure from here if it's just going to pump it back to 534, but at least you will get some relief bounce. You can make some good money on Tao. You know, your invalidation would be under 223, guys. So if you're buying it, your first take profit targets would be the order block around 29% move, $300. That's your bearish order block. And if it tries to flip that, then your next level would be around 55% move on an upside to $362. That's it, Kalas. Don't expect much, because I would like to see a 3-tap setup, or you know, some sort of a 3-tap setup, like some sort of a bigger accumulation pattern forming on Tao. So if you are going down, if we can reclaim here, rejection happens, chop, accumulation, breakout, and then boom. So this would be great if this is really bullish. Honestly speaking, you see an accumulation happens here. This was the levels where the accumulation happened. So we are back inside this accumulation basically. Now, whether this accumulation will lead to a breakout or it's just simply lead to further breakdown, it's time will tell basically. But at the moment, if you really want to play some scalps, I think 234 is good levels. 223 is going to be a stop loss, hard one, guys. Don't wait for any closure or anything. If you get stopped out, you know, it's okay, because you can't just probably play endlessly. You know, so this is what you have for Tao. BTC I've already discussed. We are having some limits, so we're just gonna wait for it. Ethereum heart and time frame I've already discussed, so you need to be very careful. Just don't play blindly. Bullish, wait for these levels to flip. If it flips, then we will be bullish, but till then just play the scalps. You know, don't put go big like millions and millions over here. No, I won't put that big. Of course you can pay like maybe 6-figure number, but not that big. You know, you can have some futures, but don't risk much. Don't risk more than 5-figure over here on this, because you're still gonna get some good opportunities. So right now we are at support on ETH. Let's see what it gives us. Tao is done. Sui also one of the chart basically I mentioned. I would like to see a move towards 2.09 to 2.07. So let's see if Sui can give us. Because I do think there is a 5 wave, so if we can give a move to 2.08, I think it would be very nice to take some long. BNB, guys, I think BNB, you have a fucking bearish shark. The same bearish shark we had for Solana. Remember, it dumped Solana from like new all-time highs to $112. Yesterday when on the stream I mentioned 130 is where you should offload. You can short it as well, and if you do take some scalps based on the stream at 130, 131, I think you at least made some decent gains. I think Solana will go towards 120 and maybe even 118. The next buy the dip opportunity in my view for Solana is here. This order block, the pennant that you have, it's a very nice levels to long basically here, and maybe a deviation would be nice. And on the flip you can long. The next target will be 127. And maybe 133. So I think it's a good scalp it would be. So you know, 118 to 133 is roughly around 12% move. You can play some spots, you know, there. Your invalidation would be 112 clearly for Solana. Don't go more in in alts at the moment because of the other crypto market cap. Others crypto market cap at this moment is fighting. There's a bull and bears, both are fighting at the moment. The bulls wants to hold the range lows of 200 and 18 or 17 billion dollars, and the bears really wants to drop it under so that they can dump back down to, maybe under 200 billion dollars. But just look at this structure. I think even though it don't have any bullish divergence, it don't have any sort of a bullish engulfing candle, but this PO3 is still a hope, that there's still a hope. Basically, it's still a hope. Bullish, the other crypto market cap can still have a hope. But for those who really want to see that this hope plays out, you really want the price to flip to $40 billion for a concrete level of, I would say, confirmation. But for now, I think this is still a good chance. This is still a good way of looking at it. So we hold up to 1-2 billion, maybe double bottom, and once we reclaim this range lows, there is still a possibility, because I've been seeing a lot of astrologer guys. I don't believe in all this shit, honestly, but the only catalyst we can have for the blood moon, if you remember the blood moon that we saw on yesterday on the live stream, the 2022 blood moon, or you can say the 2021 blood moon. Okay, so if you look at the 2022 blood moon, it was of course the bear market, and we just go for a sideways after the blood moon. Basically this was the sideways happened after the blood moon. And in 2021, what happened, that we had a massive dump and had a sideways move accumulation, but that sideways move formed a bigger range, on the blood moon. So we held the lows for like few days. We form a range from the lows. Basically, you see an upside range was formed from the lows, 22% move on the downside, and 29% move on. So this was the range, 30% range we formed basically for Bitcoin. And after that 30% range ended up in like a bigger move on an upside, So very similar thing. Look at the other crypto market cap. What we did similar to 25th May and 2021 and 15th May 2022. So look at the other crypto market cap. Oh, sorry. Someone commented on Twitter that my charts are very, very dirty. You need to draw the thing so that you can understand, you can make sense out of it. If you don't draw it, then how would you make sense out of it? I like to be precise, basically. So 25th of May 2021, when the blood moon happens, just look at so we already dumped a lot before the blood moon, you see, in 2021, when we were in the bull run. So we already dumped from the highs, like how much? 66% move on the downside. And after a later point of time, we form a range, basically from the lows to the highs. That was the range that we formed. So it was the range. I can clearly see it's another 25-30% move, the range from the lows. So this was the range lows. You form highs of, oh my God, 74% move, and on the other crypto market cap, and then it dumped another 50%, and then after that 50% move, you got a massive escalation on an upside for like how much? For like 3x move on other crypto market cap. So practically speaking, 2021 of course was the bullish year. 15th May 2022 as well. We should see how things were at that point of time. So 15th of May here. So 15th of May as well, as you can see, what we did at that point of time was something like this. So this was the 15th of May when the blood moon happened, and then we accumulated, we lose the range. And once this range lows, so the low that were made previously before the blood moon, once we lose it, we gave a massive dump for like 30%. And after the 30% move, basically what we did was to just go for a double top, like literally pumping up after 30% move on the downside towards the range highs of like 80% move on an upside. So in any scenario, in both the scenarios, 74 to 80% move is a very well-defined move. Now, currently what we are doing right now at this moment, forget about PO3 and everything else, just forget about everything. So let's say in both the scenarios we have one is bullish and one is the bearish case. The lows that we made before the blood moon, this is where everything is happening. This is going to be your ultimate support. If we are losing 215 billion, just short the whole altcoin markets, he can probably dump it to like the 25% move, 26% move on the downside, can even sweep the lows and go for 30% move on the downside. But trust me, after this dump, as you all have seen, a recovery of 74 to 75%, can even go for 80% move, is going to happen. It's going to surprise a lot of people. In case if it loses, for now we are holding it. It's a PO3 clearly. So I am looking for 2021 sort of a move, basically the way we did it, a little bit more sideways, something like this. 2021. Let me just probably take it, clone this whole thing. Clone pattern. So this was the lows before the blood moon, okay? And the price, let's say, this is what exactly we can expect the price to play. So there are two ways of playing, basically. Here. So this was your lows. Okay, I'm just putting it here. Perfect. So in case if this scenario is really valid, and this is what, I don't know, it's just a coincidence, but it's just, it's a coincidence. It's perfectly aligning with the trend line, but it's a coincidence, honestly. So if we have to be bullish, then this is how the bullishness, you really need to hold this low. You can't just give up this low. It's going to be very interesting to see how things, plays out from here. Either the yellow one, or we can just probably go with the, this one. Basically this pattern that we have, this is going to be the pattern. Basically it's like an ultimate death for what do you say, altcoins. Altcoins will dump a lot, a lot in the sense, a lot. So this is ultimately going to be then a death for altcoins, a more death. So this is how this is going to be. There are two possibilities, that's it. In both the cases, I think, if the best way to play this is, you can long around here, as I mentioned, 217. Your stop losses should be under $212 billion. As soon as we start losing it, $212 billion on daily, just exit. Whatever the loss, exit. So either it's gonna be green or it's gonna be red. And apart from that, there's nothing gonna happen. There's only two possibilities. Because if you look at the dump that we saw already before the blood moon, just look at from the highs to the lows. It's roughly around 52%. A very similar move, very close to those we had in 2021. In fact, in 2022, before the blood moon, as well, we did, we dumped in April. We literally dumped like 63%. So yeah, we are very close to those levels. Yeah, it could have been 63%, but still it's close. If you just go with the 63% from the highs, then it would be roughly around here to the lows, or roughly around, as I mentioned, $160 billion. That perfectly aligns as well. So this is very tricky. It's going to give us the bounces, and your next resistance as you want is $241 billion. Remember this number, 241, these levels. Okay. So let's say if we flip it up here, you can long. It would be very nice. You see where there will be some accumulation is going to happen. And from there, you will see a push up to 1618 and 1886 Fibonacci levels. $346 billion. Exit everything, and you can just just run away. Basically, that's what you can do. That is going to be a good exit for the altcoins. So we are very close. I think in next few days you will get your answers as to where we are going, the red or the green one. So for those who are too overexposed, basically I can say one thing: either your bags are going to dump another 29%, and then it will pump like 80%, so that you can get some good exit. So don't DCA anything right now. If you really want to DCA, let the price flip here so you can DCA, or DCA around this level, so that you can get a good try to bring your average under these levels. Once we go here, you can open coin margins, not more than 2x, guys. You don't want to get out of this whole thing before things explodes, because you just don't want to be greedy. Don't be more greedy. Try your first attitude towards the market should be, if you are trapped at the top, your first attitude is to get out of the market safely at break even, whatever the price you can just get it. So 2x, don't go more than 2x coin margin longs on any coins. In case if red plant follows, you can just probably go long here with the coin margin between $168 billion to $150 billion, you know, basically there. And from there, you can see 80% move upwards towards 277 billion. And that's where you can exit the market, basically. That would be still a good opportunity. So this is what we have for others. And you look at the BNB. I forgot to show you the Solana chart. If you remember the shark that we had, a very similar shark. Here, look at this shark. A very solid shark. And this was a perfect shark. I mean, of course, you got a bounce here, a very similar bounce, and then further, you know, what happened next. I think BNB is going, will in the future is going to see something like this. So it's just a matter of time for BNB as well. So what it can do, even though it looks strong, of course, we can just probably hold up here, and we can do up, you know, towards 696 billion maybe, or we can just because it's not going to sweep this one easily. So the way I see it is likely going to form a triangle. So this is some sort of a wave A, B, C, D, E, wave B, and then wave C will happen. So either the triangle is a very high probability, or it can even go for irregular expanded flat, meaning we can just push up here, go for like a double top or maybe sweep up high and then down. So we can go for like a full-fledged 1414 extension here towards $840 billion. And then we can just move out. So this is going to be irregular expanded flat for the BNB. But overall, in the next few months, you will see whatever it does, it goes to $840 or whatever. In the next few months, basically by end of this year, I am expecting BNB. You will see around BNB under, it will go, you know, it will go under $400. $360 it will be its support, major support. It will hit there at some point. So you will see at those numbers actually. So whatever the bounce you get it, you just probably take profits and run is what you should do. That's all. And as I mentioned, okay, time to exit the gold actually. No, it's not yet time. I want $3,000 at least so that I don't miss some major moves. But this is the red box is what I expect gold to, because it's a if you look at the 4 hours time frame, it's a 5 waves move. So basically just draw the fips from here. And I don't know what sort of a wave count it is on the LTF, but the move should not go beyond 1618, which is 3030. So this is like 1212 pull back. Maybe we can catch some scalps. Honestly speaking, any retest of these levels can be a good scalp. I'm not sure if it's going to give us, but yeah, it can do something like this. Because this is wave 1, 2, there's going to be a wave 3 over here. It will reach wave 4 will happen, and then wave 5 like this. That's going to be a 5 waves structure for, you know, gold. I mean, you can also look at this wave from the parallel channel perspective. There is no harmonic as well over here, so forget about it. So we are at the channel resistance, and it will break at some point. So yeah, it will break, and some point it will be a support. We can relong here for this, and once it loses under this colors, it will be a short, and I will be shorting it down like this. This is going to be your support, of course, and this is going to be your support. That's going to be a deviation. The price is going to go up here as a resistance around, and then move back down, as I mentioned, towards down. This is my plan for the gold on the coming days. This is the midterm plan, not the HTF that I mentioned, okay? HTF is very, very clean. 2,260 will happen in 2025 in my view. So you just have to be careful. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, and the $50 giveaway, more than 100 viewers, and honestly speaking, I am simply gonna give that $50 to someone who has been very active on the chat. So the one person, I'm just going to put the name, whatever. I mean, it's a random. I mean, I don't know anyone over here except for a few, but I'll just probably give based on whatever I see. The first name it comes up here, I'll just give one. And I think the name that I see in front of my screen is this guy. I don't know who is that guy, Gustavo Torres de Souza Ferreira. I mean, so probably he can just give me a TRC number, TRC20 over here. And please send me TRC20 USDT address. And I'll just give $50 to that person, Keo Busata, probably next live stream, inshallah, you will get it too, inshallah. So if Gustavo is not here, probably, then he should be DMing me on Twitter, okay? So that's all for today's stream, guys. Have a nice day. Take care. Bye-bye.